Seeking the origins of humanity has been mankind's obsession throughout the ages. Questions such as, why are we here, and where did we come from, are pondered in the old age mystery that every human being contemplates during their lifetime. It's easy to dismiss theories and suggestions on such a topic that makes us somewhat uncomfortable. Yet, many of these theories are based on historical facts, scientific discoveries, ancient accounts, and archaeological findings. One of the more interesting accounts is that of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki is a group of deities that appear in the mythological traditions of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians. In the earliest Sumerian writings about them, coming from the post-Akkadian period, the Anunnaki are the most powerful deities in the pantheon, descendants of An and Ki, the god of the heavens and the goddess of earth. Throughout history, ancient cultures have passed down a similar story. One of advanced beings who came to Earth, arriving in flying ships from the stars, displaying technology far advanced beyond that of even today's standards. And, as a result, were worshipped as gods. For what else but gods could possess such magical vehicles and abilities? As British science fiction writer Arthur C. Clarke once wrote, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. There are many other accounts within religious works, such as the flying Vimanas in the ancient Indian text the Mahabharata, and the first-person biblical account of Ezekiel and his flying wheel encounter. We can find various theories and interpretations of the Anunnaki and their legacy on Earth. Researchers such as Zecharia Sitchin, who controversially translated many ancient Sumerian tablets, has written countless books presenting his own accounts of the Anunnaki, a story of a group of beings from the stars who seeded the creation of humanity. To summarize these beliefs and that of other researchers, the Anunnaki were a group of off-world beings. They were said to have been gods from the sky who came to Earth and genetically engineered prehistoric versions of man to create us, a race of Homo sapiens. This genetic interference in turn accounted for missing links within the mainstream evolutionary story. The first documentation of them can be found within the Sumerian tablets. The Sumerians were located in present-day Iraq, formerly known as Mesopotamia, widely regarded as the cradle of civilization. Sumer was initially ruled by priests, organized around a city and temple dedicated to worshipping the Anunnaki. These temples were called ziggurats. These were made as a place of contact with the gods. They were much like religious places of worship today. Yet, these structures were purposely built with height in mind, as the Anunnaki were known to dwell in the skies. These worshippers and surrounding communities were considered to be a servant-slave population dedicated to serving the temple gods, the Anunnaki. The Sumerians believed the Anunnaki to be the children of earth and sky, An, the sky god, and Ki, the earth goddess. Chief among them was Enlil, god of air. The story goes that the Anunnaki's home planet, sometimes referred to as Nibiru, or Planet X, was losing the atmosphere it needed to shield against the era of the passing of the sun. The solution was to collect gold and inject gold particles into the atmosphere. The saga is far from a simple tale, going into the details of the Anunnaki's inner politics, wars, bribery, and kingships, ultimately leading to their contact with the earth. It was said that the original king of Nibiru was challenged by another as a failing leader, unable to right the critical loss of the planet's atmosphere. After his defeat, the former king was forced into exile and sent away in a spaceship never to return. On his voyage, he came across Earth. Once on Earth, he realized the abundance of fossil fuels, plant, and marine life. More importantly, he found traces of gold, the perfect solution as a heat reflector to repair the atmosphere of Nibiru. Although outcast, he contacted the new king on Nibiru with news of the solution and offered a deal. Eventually, a deal was struck and a scout team was sent to Earth to see if this gold solution was a plausible one. After confirming, a mining operation and plan needed to be made. The former king, now feeling entitled to a second kingship, was once again defeated and this time was banished from Earth. With limited fuel, he had enough to reach Mars, only to die alone. Could the face on Mars be a leftover sign from the former Anunnaki king? At this point in the story, another race is introduced, the EGG. The EGGs were the original laborers for the gold mining project. They can be compared to having a working class type position within the society. They were not treated as slaves, yet were afforded none of the privileges that the higher-ranked Anunnaki held. A full-scale mining operation proved to be highly demanding work, and the EGG started to complain, leading to working strikes and disputes amongst the classes. Noting that Earth was populated with different types of primitive species, the Anunnaki considered the idea of adapting and manipulating select DNA samples in an attempt to create a functioning and fully controllable primitive worker race. After much deliberation as to the moral implications of such an act, it was agreed that they would begin attempts to splice various DNA to make a worker race. The hominoid genetic code was experimented with, changed, and adapted many times before a successful splice was made using actual Anunnaki female DNA and that of the adapted hominoid. The objective was declared a success, and the first of the Homo sapiens was named Adam. After mining sufficient quantities of gold to heal their home planet's atmosphere, the Anunnaki became aware of an unpreventable catastrophe upon the Earth, now known within history as the Great Flood. With this information, they decided to leave, with the promise of one day returning back to the Earth. Some theorize the Anunnaki also created a separate bloodline of kings, a hybrid with qualities matching their own, with leadership positions of authority on Earth. It is believed that these bloodlines can still be traced today within certain royal dynasties around the world. Researcher David Icke believes the Anunnaki may continue to manipulate humanity today from seats of political, corporate, and financial power worldwide. They feed off a collective fear, a fear presented each day by the mainstream media and Orwellian-style entrainment designed specifically to trigger fear and anxiety, an aggregate hypnotic state. This Brotherhood of Babylon keep humans enslaved using the Illuminati as their worshippers, controlling the world from afar.